TV political analyst Brian Sobel. And for President Trump, who says migrants are invading this area, invading us from the southern border, what do you think the 12 senators who broke ranks and sided with the Democrats, why do you think they voted against this?
Well, first of all, it was a tough thing for them to do, but I think at the end of the day, they're worried about the presidency, maybe Donald Trump, but just generally, the administration being able to go around Congress for appropriations and taking money from other buckets and spending it the way that he wants instead of the way that Congress wants it spent.
It was still pretty close. It was, I think, 59 to 41, I think, is what the final vote was. Do you think they're suddenly emboldened to try and rein in the president, or are they trying to balance the powers in case the next president is a Democrat and wants to do a similar thing to what President Trump is doing?
I don't think it portends anything for the future. I think that they were sending a signal to the White House that we want you to consult with Congress on your expenditures. Now, it's also true that presidents have taken money from lots of buckets for lots of years.
Yeah. That's nothing new. Now, the CLU said the president is a, quote, one-man constitutional crisis. What happens if Congress can't overturn the president's veto here?
Well, it'll stand. He'll go and find money for the wall. The veto has been used since George Washington, who vetoed 2 bills, up to Franklin Roosevelt, who vetoed over 600, to give you a scale.
Yeah.
And so the veto is the veto. I don't think the votes are there to overturn the veto.
All right. So he can immediately start appropriating this cash from these other areas to start building this wall?
I'm guessing he has already, or they have already identified where this money is coming from. They are already putting it into a budget to use on the wall.
So, but there's lawsuits that are planned right now from Javier Becerra here in California and 19 other states. So what is that? How does that bode for the president? Can he start actually building the wall even as those lawsuits make their way through the courts?
Well, it's very tough to find ways to stop money flowing in Washington, D.C. Money is so fungible there, that meaning that it can be moved from bucket to bucket. True of the state legislature as well. And so because of that, he's going to be able to find money to work on that wall.
But can we stop it in the meantime? Or does a judge have to say, hey, you can't build this wall or you can't appropriate that money yet?
It has to be that strict. It has to be, we don't want another pipe put in the ground, another screw put into the wall to stop it. Otherwise, from a money standpoint, it's very hard to stop money and the way it flows in Washington, D.C. and how it can be used for a project.
So in terms of the political process here between Congress and the president, what happens on Monday when everyone gets back to work?
Well, what's going to happen is there'll be a vote in the House of Representatives and eventually one on the Senate side. Both houses have to vote to overturn the veto. They both have to vote 2/3 to do it. That's why the numbers aren't there, probably. So the president's veto will stand, and he'll try to move ahead.
Oh, man, a controversial issue locked up again in Washington. We'll see how it goes. KTV political analyst Brian Sobel, thank you so much for joining us again.
My pleasure.